So, Ritesh, from your experience so far, we can clearly see that your expertise somewhere lies in the intersection of technology and life sciences. So, we are also curious to understand how is tech shaping the life sciences, or broadly, I would say the healthcare space. What are some of the areas of growth in this particular industry, and what are some of the risks that you foresee, given the nature of the industry, which is quite sensitive?
No, absolutely. I think the way to start is from um, uh, let's say a bottom up approach, I would say in this case. So, if you take the look at the entire healthcare or life science or any spectrum, the entire journey somewhere culminates with patients. Now, patients, historically, patients like me, you, and some of us who even have been in healthcare, or let's say who have been a part of the problem, for want of a better word. So, you know, uh, all of us have had a role to play as a part of the problem, and all of us have been receiving end of the solution. So today, if anybody tells you that, you know, this is the drug, this is the prescription, and let's say, for example, a doctor writes, your symptom is gastrophaseal or gastrointestinal reflux. If you don't understand what is gastrointestinal reflux, you don't even know what is the condition of your body. For the generative AI or for the technology to actually translate it to layman with accuracy, whether it calls it acidity or whether it calls it something else, or is inconsequential. But uh, the patients who have been at the receiving end of healthcare will actually start understanding the problems much better, because technology tools will help them understand. The patients will start understanding their labels better. And while we are talking about medicine labels today, me and you, all people who even want to read labels can't read what is written in there, and then understanding it obviously is a challenge. But today, if let's say Ritesh is there, who is a pre-diabetic, for example, the days are not far and labels will start getting hyper personalized. Ritesh will understand if he's a pre-diabetic, what does the medicine label mean to him. So a lot of it will start driving in healthcare. Now, if I move a little upstream, another example where there are HCPs, healthcare practitioners, which we commonly call doctors, let's say, technology will become an aid to them to actually arrive at the right decision making. For example, if an 8-year-old is having wheezing symptoms at night, 12 o'clock, or let's say around midnight, the precise diagnosis is something which a clinical decision assistant will be able to scan through multiple data sources and bring bring to you where patients have presented similar symptoms in the past and what was it related to. The doctor will still be the decision maker, because it has to be a, let's say, a human in the loop, but then the doctor will be aided with the precise information in a short span of time, with which his decision making, his diagnosis, his or her diagnosis will start getting even more sharper. So, all in all, now, if I move very, very upstream, the example which I was talking to you about, bringing drugs faster to market. If you are able to synthetically mix and match molecules and arrive at new combinations or new therapies, that's going to bring drugs faster in the market. All in all, what is going to happen is patients are going to be immensely benefited, and healthcare is going to improve radically than it has in the past. See, unlike a retail where, if you get a better shampoo, there's only much better shampoo or some of those which can grow your hairs, or all of that has happened. There is so much impact that the technology can do, but in healthcare, it can immensely change the dynamics from start to finish, the way healthcare will be delivered, the way consumers will be benefited, and the way overall, again, might sound a very, 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 very high high goal to aim for, but then healthcare will keep becoming better. All that we have been talking about, the entire last mile access, this, that, lot of problems can be solved. It's just that it takes creative thinking, imagination, and embracing technology to deliver our.
Got it.
And these are really very interesting use cases, right? That you just mentioned, which will have like a real impact. So one thing that I wanted to ask is, how has been the adoption? Because historically, healthcare, if you look at it, it is considered being a laggard in tech adoption. So how has been the adoption like, and where do you see the resistance?
The resistance, the adoption has been very slow. I think Gen AI is the pioneer in moving the adoption. If Gen AI would have been a person, uh, uh, a lot of people like me would have taken personal effort to felicitate. But yeah, today Gen AI as an entity has moved the needle quite significantly. That's the first part. But there are still barriers to adoption. Now, the barriers to adoption more stem from a lot of factors. So, uh, see, the problem is when people are aligned to an end objective, the adoption reduces. But the alignment is not there. There are naysayers, and today there are a lot of naysayers who don't want to adopt the technology. And the problem is not that these people have actually used technology. They are so averse that they have not even laid their hands. For them, Gen AI means Chat GPT, and then there would be some sporadic example where Chat GPT hallucinates. So there are a lot of barriers to adoption, which stem from the fact uh, that people have not tried it. But what I'm very hopeful about, Revant, is that, as with any new technology, once you cross the chasm or the curve, the adoption will be significantly higher. If I give you a very different example, like a few years back, robotic surgery was considered as fad. Nobody wanted to go for robotic surgery. Companies made immense losses, right from Mako Surgicals to Intuit Surgicals and all of them. Everybody made enough losses. Nobody wanted to use the market. Cut short, today's time, everybody is using a robo. And the funny thing is, patients are now pushing to get robotic surgeries. So the point is, any technology, what I've seen in healthcare and life sciences, once it crosses a certain barrier, the adoption starts getting phenomenally fast, and that's what we'll shortly see. So I am very bullish that things will change. But the short term adoption, there are going to be certain challenges. There are going to be naysayers. There are going to be folks who feel threatened by it. There's enough chatter around, whose job will GPT take or whose job will not take. One thing I would suggest to anybody in the field, since this is meant for quite a few early start professionals, is don't get into discussions where will it take away my job versus will it take away your job. Those discussions are meaningless, inconsequential. It won't take away your job till the time you have the formula to get technology do the right job for you, and that's incorrect. So there'll be barriers in adoption, but I think we will see a point where it will be hugely adopted.
Got it. Now, if you look at the timeline, right, Hitesh, first was COVID that really drove the HCP engagement getting digital. And then later, like you mentioned just now, with generative AI, that has been enabler again on a different level. And then now with the incoming of agents, where you are able to execute uh, workflows autonomously. Do you see these agents as well being like a catalyst in tech adoption?
Uh, so you mean the entire Gen AI agents which are coming in different?
Right, it's a subset. Yes, yes.
Absolutely. So I think, see, I'll tell you what. Nobody likes to see what are agents doing. There are different kinds of agents. There are intelligent agents. There are decision making agents. There are agents which do the grunt work for you. And finally, we are looking at humans finally consuming the output of agents right now as we stand, and building on top of it. What will happen is the human mind will continue getting more and more creative, because the agents will be able to do more and more work for you. See, uh, in pre-Google times, information asymmetry was a big problem. Today, information overload became a problem in between when Google came. Right now, we are living in a happy age where we are getting precise information, and that can't be a problem. So if we look at that as a problem, then we are anyways sunk. Today, if you use Perplexity, for example, you'll get precise information with references, with sources to a precise question. Now, in a scenario where you are armed with good information and precise information, the decision making is something which can get much better. And that's where human mind, or let's say, the domain experts or anybody has to start playing. And that's where, every domain expert or everybody can start questioning everything like a child. So you don't have to say that, I agree with everything what the agent has given me as an output. The more you question the agent, the more fantastic your decisions are going to be. And that's where, the shift in thinking has to be radical for anybody using technology. You have to think as a mature adult while at the same time being a 5-year-old kid. And if you can balance it out, I'm sure there will be somebody soon writing a book on that. And sometimes I think of Thinking Fast and Slow as one of the books, which is true in today's scenario. But thinking like a mature and thinking like a kid, if you start balancing out everything, you are going to see amazing results which can be delivered.